Chris, before you go tonight, can I talk to you about that?
Keep it out there.
Talking about the light?
Is
it still doing that?
Thanks to Steve, we got new lights.
Just ask him for a dimmer.
And I walked over, forgot it was night.
Is that the one that you think is bright over there? It's not really like that over here, so. I don't know.
Every one of them.
Yeah.
That's very nice.
Say less.
Okay, I call to order our regular city council meeting for January 28th. Please join me for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen. Thank you. Welcome all. Roll call. Shelley,
Honorable Mayor Grover,
I'm present.
Member Oberhauser,
Present.
Councilmember Schmidt,
Present.
Councilmember Bartel,
Present.
Councilmember Bealock,
Present.
Councilmember Nazaro,
Present.
Councilmember Labar,
Present.
Councilmember Pashma.
Present.
Thank you. We are all here. Next on the agenda is citizen comments. This is an opportunity for any citizen to provide testimony, make comment to city council. And I'd please ask that you state your name and your address for the record, please.
My name is Margot Buckles. My address is 15205 South Golden Eye Lane, Cheney, 99004. And I'm here just to introduce myself. I'm a member of the Cheney Co-housing Group, which many of you may have heard of before. Some of you may not know, but we plan to establish a co-housing neighborhood with individual homes and a shared clubhouse and shared grounds. Co-housing is a type of housing where people have their own individual homes, but they share resources. It's similar to the co-housing development that's in Spokane, Haystack Heights, if anyone has ever. We plan to share more as we go along and talk to the city council about our future plans. We'd welcome any questions that anyone has, or if you'd like to schedule a presentation in the future, we would welcome that as well. Thank you very
Wonderful.
much.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Anybody else in the crowd? How about online? Anybody joining us virtually that wishes to provide comment to our council? Okay, seeing none, let's move on to the minutes. You've had an opportunity to look at our regular city council meeting minutes from January 14th. And if there's no corrections to that, I'd accept the motion to approve them.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. I have a motion and a second to approve our January 14th city council meeting minutes. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Thank you. Our minutes are approved. Vouchers for both 2025. Cindy.
2024 payables are $667,288.89 and 2025, $162,587.88.
Your Honor, the Finance Committee reviewed these items. I would move for the approval of the 2024 vouchers.
Second.
Thank you. A motion and a second to approve the 2024 vouchers as presented. Any questions for Cindy? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay.
And
Thank
Your
you.
Honor, I would also move for approval of the 2025 vouchers.
Second.
Thank you. I have a motion and a second to approve the 2025 vouchers as presented. Questions for Cindy? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Nay. Thank you. 2024 and 2025 vouchers are approved. Once again, thankfully, we don't have any claims for damages, and you can see the handful of small contracts that I've signed. Don't have any informational items or appointments, but we have a handful of action items. And the first one is for Dave Lucas, Resolution F-327. This is the Cheney Community Court Grant. Go ahead, Dave.
Honorable Mayor and City Council, I'm asking that you approve Resolution F327, which is the awarding or accepting of the award of a $1,500 grant from AOC to support risk assessment training. It would be operational risk assessment, which is a risk mitigation tool for pretrial services that we use to evaluate defendants and determine what type of pretrial release conditions we would recommend to the judge.
Thank you, Dave. Any questions for Dave on this? Accepting some more money for the courts.
This is state funds, correct?
Correct. It is state funds. It's actually funds that they had that they didn't spend on another program. It was a total of about 140,000 that they were willing to go back out to the courts to use before the end of the fiscal year.
We did talk about this in the safety committee meeting and thought it was a great idea. So there's no more questions or comments. I'd like to motion to approve resolution F327.
Second.
Thank you. I have a motion and a second to approve resolution F327, the community court grant. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Ayes have it. Thank you, Dave. Resolution F327 passes.
Thank you, Mayor. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Resolution F328, the Aquatic Center Geotech Survey Amendment number 2, Todd.
Amendment 2, yeah, but as you may recall, we started out with the design center where we brought basically geotechnical services in the site assessment and based on that. And then when we awarded the contract, we did Amendment 1, taking a look at not only the soils analysis, but everything that is required as far as the building goes, as far as concrete, rebar, all of that. With the unsuitable soils, we burned up a lot of that budget, just getting to where we're at today. So Amendment 2 is just estimating through the rest of the project of maintaining the geo services. So with that, I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Thanks, Todd. And with a project this side, it's not uncommon that we have amendments throughout the projects. Any questions for Todd on this? Go ahead.
I was just wondering, in the whole scheme of things, are we looking like we're still at the budget that we had previously expected it to be at, or is this starting to push us over? Kind of like, where is that standing?
Well, typically on a project this size, we look probably between 5 and 10% of contingency just for the unknowns.
Mhm.
And I think we just went ahead and put 400,000 in that, which is a little bit less than what even the 5% would have covered. We still have a little bit of that left, but it has been a challenge with with digging around the soils. Once we're above ground, I think everything else should just kind of, hopefully no more surprises.
Okay.
Oh, and an update on the pool. It's somewhere on the west side. It's in customs right now, and hopefully we'll see it in
On its way.
Okay,
Ooh.
cool.
Got here before
Yes,
it
sir.
jumps.
Todd, for our pool, with this, we've probably spent close to 300 grand on unsuitable material. Could you explain for all of us what exactly what was unsuitable?
Certainly. So the original assessment, we went around the building site and took a look at the samples. Then during the construction bid documents, we asked them to give us at least 5 foot below the footing itself, the building. Most part, we were on target to that end. When we started digging the deep end of the pool, we actually exceeded down around 14, 15, 16 feet. Then we started uncovering the old, basically the old pool drain system. And that has been there since the 1960s. That system has been leaking for a long, long time. And so when we started removing that soil, we knew that we just had unsuitable. So there was several discussions whether we wanted to use fabric and build it up or exit out. And by the time we tried to settle on a fabric, that fabric was a week or two out. So we decided to go with a different suitable material. Once all that was kind of brought up into the bottom of the pool where you see the slabs right now, then the wet weather kind of hit, and then some of that unsuitable material wasn't suitable to that end. So there was just some extra cost for that fill. So we're somewhat up to grade. The cold weather and the frozen conditions on the site is making workers a little bit better, so they can actually start on the building side. We did offer to close North 8th Street from basically Cedar to the north side of the apartment complex driveway, so they can mobilize the cement trucks and get access to the building site. So barring any warm ups and targeting, they have slipped behind some days, and the latest I've heard is about a 12-day, but we haven't really had any snow days that they could work. All is that we're looking at as we look towards the March, April, and May is having the contract, what they call stacking their subs to make sure that we're all in line, making sure that we can get it kind of trimmed down.
Yeah, so in other words, we've had to dig a lot deeper hole than what we thought.
Correct, yep.
Then we had to fill that back in to the tune of a couple $100,000.
So were those pipes underneath there from the old plumbing? Was that a surprise then? We didn't know those existed? Or
No,
didn't
we knew they
get-
were, we knew that they were there, but they were just such in bad shape that the pipe was never containing the water.
Yeah.
It was leaking out for a long, long time. It was just been leaking out all these years and just taking that soil and just turning it to mush.
And also, this thing was built on a swamp to start with. I think maybe hit creek or whatever down there, I don't know, but in one end of the town, it's solid rock, or you got this end where it's mush. Good Lord, but it's, I'm like Danielle, I'm a little nervous too, where our burn rate's a little bit faster than I wanted on our contingency, so here's another 40. But you want to make sure you got a solid foundation too, so.
Mhm.
Thanks, Todd.
Any other questions for Todd on resolution F-320?
Your Honor, since there's no further questions, I'd make a motion to approve F-328.
Second,
Thank you. I have a motion and a second to approve resolution F-328, amendment to the Aquatic Center Geotech Services. Final questions, comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Ayes have it. Thank you, Todd. Resolution F-328 passes. Okay, resolution F-329, this is the surplus of number 721 backhoe.
Yeah, I came and probably had more optimism on selling the backhoe at 70,000. And when we put it on the web, or when we started to advertise on the website, they came back to and said, you know, well, we may get there, but to open a bid at 70 probably won't happen. So they were suggesting between 25 and 30. I think we'll go north of that during the bidding process, but they just felt that you can put it out there, but you probably won't back that down.
Thanks, Todd. Questions for Todd on reducing this bid amount?
Your Honor, if there aren't any questions, I would move for approval of resolution F-329. Thank you.
second,
Thank you. Motion and a second to approve resolution F-329, surplusing backhoe number 7. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Thank you, Todd. Resolution F-329 passes. And resolution F-330, reclaimed water rate study. Go for it, Todd.
Yeah, as you may recall, this started a few years back when we initially started the water rates, I believe the water and the light rates. And they did that assessment, keeping in mind that our utilities really need to have a rate study, maybe an independent rate as well. So moving from the water to the light, we decided to take solid waste and wastewater as well. And then, as you recall, our wastewater rates was kind of contingent on the loan that we'd have on the purple pipe. And now we're coming back a little bit because that loan amount could go north of that. We just want FCS to kind of weigh in to see if we're still in check with the rates and provide that small study. And that's the task up above. But also, in addition, as we start pipe, we understand that there's going to be a cost for irrigation, primarily with the school district and some of the parks. And so by doing this in-depth study, we'll kind of have an understanding of what they're using domestically right now and what the cost is for the operations of the purple pipe and develop some type of rate. So with that, I'll be happy to end.
Thanks, Todd. Questions for Todd on adding another part of the scope of work for SCS?
Can you just remind us what the other two amendments were that we weren't here for? It lists the first amendment and then
Oh.
This is amendment number 4.
Yeah,
So what were the other
amendment
things that
four.
were
So,
added on?
Amendment for, the first amendment was for, I believe the water, and the second amendment could have been for the light. We don't know if we paired that up. And then like the third amendment was for the wastewater and solid waste together.
Okay.
And then the fourth amendment is for that, for this one right here.
Since we already had them on board, they were already doing the studies. It was good to,
And we don't
go
have to
through
go
all
back
of
out
our
for
rates.
bids each time we add on new services.
good question.
Your Honor,
Go ahead.
this is an item that Public Works Committee reviewed and discussed. Part of it is that this is kind of the new kid on the block. You really just can't pull a number out of your back pocket and lay it on it. You need to have some basis for what we would charge. There was a good discussion where really initially now there were only 2 customers, i.e. school district and the parks. I don't know when will increase that or what, but to get started and to kind of get a base for, what our reason is for charging what we may is by a third party expert so that we can better defend ourselves with the auditor or the customers. So you just don't get to apply a number and call it good. You have to have some analysis and as such behind it. And this group is their specialty, so we thought this would be a good start. It's about 25 grand. And from there, we'll be able to make other determinations from this base information.
Paul, any other questions? Go ahead.
I just wanted, just for clarification, like we've already paid for the first 3 studies and now we just are, this is just the amendment just to pay for the 4th. The other 3 are done.
Fourth, yeah,
Okay.
there is advantage to that. As you can kind of see, it's a little bit lower than the others because when you work with FCS, they do take all of our data. So for instance, they'll be diving back into all the water accounts, all the usage accounts that they've already studied. They will probably just ask us to update any type of usage. So then they can kind of compare it and then go on with the utilities section of it. The snapshot of the sewer rate, they've already done that. So that's a matter of just that 5-year rate projection presented last year.
Okay,
So
thank
they're
you.
not starting from scratch.
Okay.
They've got a lot of the data already. Good question. Anything else? Jason, can you hear us okay?
Yep, all good.
Okay, good.
Your Honor, I would make a motion that we approve resolution F 330. Second?
Thank you. I have a motion and a second to approve resolution F 330, reclaimed water rate study. CS. All in favor, say aye.
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 Okay, opposed, nay. Thank you, Todd. Resolution F 330 passes. Excuse me. Okay, Mark, resolution F 333, licensed training provider agreement with the American Red Cross.
It's a pretty easy one, to be honest. We get the pool built, got to staff it. Got to staff it with well-trained lifeguards to ensure the safety of all the participants and the customers. The Red Cross is kind of the gold standard for lifeguard training. This is just an agreement as they would provide the materials and the curriculum that we will train and certify all of our lifeguards at. So this agreement just kind of spells out what they will provide to us, and we'll be off and running, getting people hired and trained up to run the pool.
Thanks, Mark. Any questions for Mark on this agreement?
Yeah. So am I understanding this correctly, that we're just licensing the curriculum from them? Who is facilitating the courses for our new hires?
I think a lot of it's going to be done by Chris Babcock, who's been doing lifeguard training for a number of years. She's done it for us for a number of years. She actually sits on our park board. Very, very good trainer. Most likely she's going to be doing a chunk of it. We may have to bring in some other representatives too, just depending on timing and how many people that we're actually training. Thanks.
Any other questions for Mark? Pleasure.
I'll go for approval of resolution F 333.
Second.
Thank you. I have a motion and a second to approve resolution F 333, licensed training provider agreement with the Red Cross. Any final comments, questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Thank you, Mark. Resolution F333 passes. And resolution F334, this is the IAFF Local 1919 Labor Agreement. Go ahead, Mark.
Mayor. So last council meeting, we did an information item kind of laying out the IFF tentative labor contract. I'm not going to go back through that presentation all over again. Just want to hit a few of the high points to maybe jog your memory on some of the things that presented earlier. And Chief and I are here to ask any questions you may have. But a lot of rewrite of the contract. Very proud of the work that we collaborated with the IAFF on coming to the agreement. Just a couple of things. We added Juneteenth as a holiday. We really addressed the EMS certification, making sure that we have sort of advanced level of EMS care that we will have on each shift to provide better service to the community. Total rework of the classification system and the step for compensation purposes, really to keep our people motivated, to be highly trained and ready and willing and able to serve the community. We addressed the comparables, who we actually look at and compare ourselves to for wages and benefits, getting more local and sort of regional folks that are drawing from the same labor pool. Taking a look in depth at those wages and benefits with the adjustments that we've made. I think we're very competitive. It gets us about to the average in terms of our total compensation. It comes out to about 38.56, which is just right near the average. So this makes us competitive, allow us to attract and retain well-trained firefighters. That's the long and short of it. I'm here to answer any questions. The union has already voted. IFF has already voted in favor. So now it's up to you.
Thanks, Mark. Any questions for Mark on this IAFF contract?
Real quick, at the presentation, I don't remember the specific details. You had mentioned that they would have to go out for a second opinion from a doctor. I believe it was either for sick leave or like LNI.
It's on return to work.
A return to work.
Yep.
Who pays for that second? Is that
So we
the
would.
city would? Okay.
The city would. Yeah, and this is really, for our benefit to make sure that we have somebody that's fully capable to provide, the service, do the essential functions of their job. But really, at the end of the day, it's to protect the individual too. We don't want them to come back before they're ready and risk future injury or illness. So this was a collaborative, kind of thing we did with the union. They don't want to put their members in harm's way either. So this was pretty much an easy one. And I feel better about it because you get somebody's personal physician that may be motivated by something else to get somebody back to work just because they want to, doesn't mean they're exactly ready. And having a neutral party do this, I think everybody's in a better place.
Any other questions? Go ahead, Paul.
Just a comment, Your Honor, thank you. As you noted from our last council meeting and Mark's presentation, this is significant rewrite. As I went through that, it was good. I mean, a lot of things here. But in a general sense, if you're gonna have a need for medical care, Cheney is a good place. Because our response time and level of service we provide all comes back to this document in a lot of respects. So I think that's good. Secondly, again, I want to thank the mayor and Mark. The presentation the prior or last meeting, this is all for transparency, where we've now taken this position where we'll bring it out. Everyone gets a chance to look at it. Everyone gets to bite at it twice. So we've had our first bite. If there's any issues, and you can give Mark or whatever, it's all out there. That's the contract. This is what it is. And the reason we're doing this is there was a while back, there was a movement that all negotiations had to be in, public meetings, blah, 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 which there was other things behind that, but I think we've answered the issues with transparency, but here it is. You get a couple, and if we wanted to, we could hold off for another meeting. We don't really need to, but it's all there if someone has any issues or questions. So I'm very pleased with that, and I think you did a good job, Mark. I think the firefighters, IAFF, realize that as well.
Yeah, and again, I said this the last time, this wouldn't have come to fruition without the chief and Deputy Chief Anderson bargaining at the table with me. So really good collaborative effort. I'm proud of this work.
Anything else?
Last thing, real quick then. So the Civil Service Commission seems like it'd be something that would have a hand in this or should have some hand in this, but we haven't had any active commission as far as I know.
Now, that's something we're working on, but they don't have anything to do with labor contracts.
No, but it says that it includes the hiring, firing and promotions. So considering
Yeah,
those are
that's more of a
within the
process.
contract.
That's more of a process thing.
Yeah.
It's not about the labor contract itself.
No, I understand that, but the labor contract garners labor. And if we're not having this part of the process, looking at the labor hiring and firing process,
Yeah, like I said,
kind of missing a step in the tripod.
we're working on that right now.
Okay.
Anything else? Go ahead.
We did talk about this in the safety committee meeting, and one of the things that I was encouraged by was Chief Jenkins and Mr. Anderson, Jeff Anderson, also really liked the contract. And they really liked it for the fire department. So that was encouraging as well. So if there's no other comments or questions, we'll move to approve resolution F 334.
Second.
Thank you. I have a motion, a second to approve resolution F 334, the IAFF Local 1919 Labor Agreement. Any final comments or questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, Mark. Well done to all involved in the contract. Resolution F 334 passes. Now, because the contract's passed, we have an ordinance to update, which is the salary ordinance. Go ahead.
Thank you,
This,
Mayor.
Ordinance Y 83.
Yes, so thank you for passing the resolution to approve the fire contract. That being said, now we have to update salary ordinance with the new wages for all the IAFF members. So I'll be asking for all three readings and passage tonight so we can get this thing enacted and get things moving.
Since all of the questions appear to have been answered, Your Honor, I would move for the first reading of ordinance Y 83 in title and summary form only, and that the first be considered the second and the second be considered the third, and it be placed before us for final passage.
Second.
Thank you. I have a motion for the first reading of ordinance Y 83 in title and summary form only, and that the first reading be considered the second, and the second reading be considered the third, and to be placed before you all for final passage. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Shelley, go ahead. Oh, I'm sorry.
I think we have a
I
question.
just have a
Yes,
question.
go ahead.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Is this just for the IAFF portion of it?
Yeah.
Just for this portion of that? Okay, okay.
Go ahead, Shelley.
Ordinance number Y 83, an ordinance fixing the salaries and compensation for appointed officers and employees of the city of Cheney, fixing the effective date thereof, repealing ordinance Y 81 and providing for the effective date hereof.
Thank you, Shelley. Councilwoman or Councilmember Overhauser.
Aye.
Councilmember Schmidt.
Aye.
Councilmember Bartels.
Aye.
Councilmember Bealock.
Aye.
Councilmember Nazaro.
Aye.
Councilmember Labar.
Aye.
And Councilmember Postuma.
Aye.
Thank you, Mark. Ordinance Y 83, the salary ordinance is updated. Passed. And that concludes our action items. Mark, do we have any staff reports?
Just a couple, legislative session in full swing. Been participating and watching some of the public hearings and some of the debate on various bills that are out there. I will send you an updated summary from Deborah. She's gonna do that weekly just to keep you in tune with what's going on and how she thinks maybe things are gonna go. Some bills she thinks are sort of dead on arrival and others that may be up for passage and maybe some amendments, as the process goes on. The other thing I was going to talk about, Todd already mentioned, just the closure of North 8th Street. Help our contractors out and get back on schedule. That's it for me.
Thanks, Mark.
Thanks.
I don't have anything to share, but I think maybe some of our council members would like to share. Teresa. Anything?
I do not have anything. Thank you.
Paul?
Me either.
Okay, Vince?
Really quick reminder, we'll see you all February 5th for our joint meeting with the planning commission. That's it.
I don't have anything of value to add today.
Jason?
Nothing from me. Thanks, Mayor.
Okay.
anything tonight.
Go Eagles.
Go Eagles, yes.
Oh, there was one other thing.
Yes,
Ha-
please.
Happy birthday tomorrow.
Yes,
Oh,
happy
Oh.
birthday to Jackie.
Forty, that's a good thing.
Yeah, I haven't hit 40 yet.
Move to adjourn.
Well, that concludes our meeting. Thank you. All in favor, say aye.
I abstain.
Yes.